Hi, I'm Scotty from the Junction. I'm going to be doing some demos for you today. Uh, Making an omelet to start with, and then we're going to go in there, stir fry. Uh, Things about me is I've been cooking pretty much my whole life. I come from a family of chefs. So learning how to flip was something I did when I was around 6 years old. Uh, and flipping is fun, and that's why I chose the omelet because I love to make things fly. Uh, I've been here at the Junction for almost 9 years now. Before that, I worked in Las Vegas. I worked at the Paris, and that's where I got really good at making omelets because we could turn 1,000 omelets in the morning. It was kind of a crazy thing at the Paris. So let's start with when making anything, sauteing, you like to warm your pans up first. So, just with an omelet, we're going to go with a higher heat. I'm a fan of when I cook eggs, I go with a lower heat and I cook them slowly. I don't like scorching my eggs where they're all crunchy and hard on the surfaces. So, just learning how to use what heat for the job. Omelets you want to cook a little faster, so we're going to just kick up the heat, heat it up. Uh, And once your pan starts to warm up, you can add your shortening. As a Wisconsinite, I love my butter, so we're going to do a couple tablets of butter and just get that going and heating in the pan. Today it's going to be a vegetarian omelet. We got some nice choices to begin with, and once your butter is all melted, you're going to just start the process of cooking it. So today I'm using some onion, some orange pepper, because color is good. And let's get a little crazy and throw asparagus in with that. We're going to give that a second to get going, and then we'll add a few of the other ingredients I have. While this is going, we're going to get our eggs ready for the omelet. And a decent omelet is three to four eggs, depending on the size of the eggs or what you prefer to eat. And then I'm just going to take. I love to use a fork. I don't have those little tiny whisks to mix up my eggs. So if you grab your fork and just start working it, your goal is to get it blended together to try to aerate it. If you want to make a really nice fluffy omelet, when I'm at home, I will actually put my eggs in the blender and just pulsate the blender for a few seconds to get it really aerated. That'll give you a really nice fluffy omelet. Now as my vegetables are coming into play and they are starting to shrink down, I'm going to toss a few mushrooms in with that. And since we're doing this beautiful vegetable omelet, I'm going to hit it with a little fresh thyme. To bring out experience in cooking, you really need to use a spatula, but if you need that, always keep that handy. You need it for your omelet once you start working the omelet, so it doesn't hurt to have. But I love to just toss my stuff around and keep it moving at all times. And some vegetables are just great to let you know when you're ready to go into the next stage. Onions are my favorite, mushrooms. They change in texture, and as those textures start to show the transparency in your onions and the mushrooms are shrinking down and changing in color and texture, that's when you know you're ready to go and add your eggs to this mixture. And like I said, it doesn't hurt to aerate this. Nice fluffy omelets are the best. Alright, so now we're at that point where everything is looking nice and it's ready to add our egg mixture. And as you add this, just kind of spread it around the ingredients so you kind of get everything all nice and coated. And you got a nice layer of vegetables with the eggs and everything is in place to where it needs to be. Now as your omelet is starting to set up, you're going to start working your omelet. And the trick to working your omelet is use your spatula and free it up from the sides. And as it starts to get enough thickness to that, you're going to take and just keep raising the side of the omelet and allowing the liquid to flow down underneath. And you just work it until you can get no more liquid to move off of there. And then once you get to that point, you kind of let it sit, and it will give it a few seconds to set up, and then we're going to flip it, and that's my favorite part of an omelet. And when you flip your omelet, if you are at the right temperature and moved it at the right space of time, it should have a nice little browning on that side. It should not be all hard and really dark brown. So keeping things moving and keeping it flowing is good. But when you go to flip, I like to use the phrase Nike came up with. It's just do it. Once you decide you're going to flip, it's just going to happen. And then at that point, you're just going to give it another minute or two to set up. At this point, if you want to add cheese to your omelet, you'll take and put a layer of cheese down on it. And this will help the cheese to start to soften up, and when we bring this all together, it'll be just a beautiful, beautiful thing, having all that nice soft cheese when you cut into your omelet. And roughly, no more than a minute after flipping, you should be almost ready to go. And when you get to that point and you want to finish your omelet, you're going to slide it onto the plate about halfway, and you're going to flip that omelet on top of itself. At that point, you can give it a little sprinkle of fresh chopped parsley to give it a little color and make it look more interesting. And that is a very sweet omelet.